Gavin Newsom has really flipped the script on the way that the media covers not only Donald Trump, but the hypocrisy between the way that they treat Trump and treat everyone else. And this woman right here, who is on Fox News, Dana Perino, had a meltdown that I showed you yesterday. Here's that.
The thing is, or the debate, the other thing for me is that for the last week, Gavin Newsom, why am I giving him advice? You have to stop it with the Twitter thing. I don't know where his wife is. If I were his wife, I would say, "What? You are making a fool of yourself. Stop it. Do not let your staff tweet. And if you're doing it yourself, put the phone away and start over. And if you really, he's got a big job as governor of California, but if he wants an even bigger job, he has to be a little bit more serious."
I still can't get over that. If he wants a bigger job, then he should be more serious, like the person who he's mimicking. Now, to that, John Favreau said, absolutely, Gavin should take a lesson from Donald Trump on this. What do you think of the president's social media habits? She actually responded, copying isn't a good look and it isn't working. He should come up with his own original content as you did and have been successful with. And then John responded, I mean, it's pretty clearly a parody of Trump's absolutely insane, all caps, often nonsensical posts, probably why all the people in my life who aren't political junkies keep reaching out to say they don't know much about Newsom, but they think the tweets are hilarious. Humor and mockery can be quite effective. And then Dana said, cool, if it works and he's your 2028 nom, I will buy you dinner. Okay. Well, she went on to say after Gavin Newsom mocked her on Twitter, she responded today on Fox.
And that was my point, is that if you're doing this and it's not authentic and you're trying to do somebody else who you say is Hitler and you think that we don't get the joke, oh no, we get the joke. It's just not funny.
I think it's funny. Do you think it's funny? You let me know in the comments. If you think it's funny, hit like. If you think it's hilarious, please do subscribe. Now, Fox News is literally melting down over this. This isn't the first time they talked about it. They talked about it earlier in that same segment. And this is what they had to say about Gavin Newsom, who is living rent-free in their heads.
A budget is over. We're in debt by $20 billion. And then he just piecemeals things, and that's his strategy. And then he just crows on Twitter while the taxpayers pay for his little helpers to write the stuff that he can't. So I wish, Governor Newsom, that you would just get back to California and govern, because there's a lot of Californians that need right now a leader, one with a vertebrae, instead of someone that just follows Donald Trump around.
Ooh. Really tough. Oh, man. Jesse Waters had this to say about Donald Trump, and I got some thoughts about it because there's some. Let's watch it, and then I'll tell you my thoughts.
The resolution of this war.
Well, it's really all about getting into heaven. And I think he's kidding, but he's also partially serious, and that's why we love him.
Actually, let me just give you a little bit of context. Yesterday, Donald Trump said that he hopes he gets into heaven. That's what he's responding.
Because he has this childlike spirit, this Sunday school of thought that if you just do good things, there's a chance. And it's like the guy likes cheeseburgers and candy and nicknames, and that's kind of why we relate to him, because he's so relatable and revels in these childlike moments. But we can all understand wanting to do good, so we walk into those pearly gates. Now, I think he knows he's been a bad boy. And I think we all know he's been a bad boy. He's not the baddest boy, he's not Diddy, but he's done some things. And he knows the things. And we don't even know all the things he's done, but he knows. And after Butler, he believes he was saved, that God saved his life, and that he is now on a mission from God to put America first and to make peace.
Hold up.
When you're saying, well, he's been bad, but not as bad as Diddy, who is literally in prison for sex crimes, who has been found guilty of sex trafficking, who was alleged to have been sexually abusive to multiple women. And you're like, he's not as bad as that. That's not a very good argument. And I just want to keep going on that thread too, because we're talking about the Epstein stuff. Does that not sound like he's trying to like make that sound a little like well, we've all been bad. Like, I think the things he's accused of are a lot different than a normal person's bad behavior, which is perhaps, I don't know, shoplifting when you're 16. And secondly, I want to go back to that first part where he talked about how Donald Trump is hoping he get into heaven. Other people, so we talked about this yesterday, but other people have commented on this, and I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty good point. Is Donald Trump talking about it because he is perhaps realizing his own mortality, because perhaps doctors are telling him things aren't looking good? Food for thought. Food for thought. Now, like I said, MAGA is just so upset at Gavin Newsom. Here's News Nation just up in arms.
It's a troll. And I think when you talk about, like, what's the purpose of this? And obviously the purpose, according to Gavin Newsom, who has spoken out about this and it says, oh yeah, I'm trying to shine a light on the ridiculousness that we have of the sitting president acting like this on social media. Well, then shouldn't you be focused on more important things in the world? Like maybe doing for your state, I don't know. There's a massive wildfire earlier this year that still has not had any cleanup and rebuilding going on. We've seen a lot of reports.
All right, this guy's a lightweight. He sucks. He can't get a sentence out. He's talking about a wildfire. His staff is tweeting this.
On that. So why are you spending your time trolling, literally using that term, trolling Donald Trump?
And he did make the point, he did say, if you have a problem with what I'm putting out and all these images, then you should have a problem with what the president is putting out. Does he make a good point there?
I think that it's the kind of point that maybe you make in 2015, 2016, maybe 2017, you get away with that. Listen, he's been president. We saw the way he is on social media for the entire campaign in 2015 and 2016.
I don't think that really flies because one, he's gotten worse, and two, he's the president of the United States. If anyone should be held to a higher standard, it should be the president of the United States, not the governor of California. Richard Grinnell said this: it's so obvious that Gavin Newsom isn't the person actually tweeting from his account. It's some new team he's hired who has convinced him to step aside and let them try something new. He's so phony. He's not even able to tweet on his own. Breaking news, the governor has staff. Like what? Of course he's not tweeting everything for himself from the Governor Newsom press office account, idiot. Anyway, they called him the Kennedy Senator's janitor. Oh, man. And then just whatever. I mean, not that it matters, but an analysis has shown that Donald Trump doesn't tweet for himself. This is 9 years ago. I'm sure it's probably even less, but a text analysis of Trump's tweets confirmed he writes only really half of them and only the angrier half. Of course, another thing for them to get mad at. And I just want to say that Governor Newsom's team wrote, has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Kid Rock, he's no longer hot? It's just nonstop. Oh my gosh. And this guy is some MAGA rapper, which I guess is a thing. And he wrote a diss track to Gavin Newsom. And everyone noticed that it looked like he's giving him a present from behind. And the governor's press officer said, bro, we get it, but he's not interested. Stick to Grindr. Well, at least someone's fighting back. You know what I mean? At least someone's fighting back. I'm grateful someone is. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.